Hello, hello, hello to everybody. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for our team meeting today. We've got a couple of events going on at the same time. So our team meeting will be recorded and streamed. There is also an event going on right now on KW Connect, which you guys may have heard and seen about. This is how to win with listings and further develop your listing inventory with some of the best listing agents in the country. So if you are hopping on KW Connect to catch that, you absolutely can. Like I said, our team meeting will be recorded, and we are either already live on the Facebook page, or we will be there very soon so that you can stream that as well. And we've got some celebrations on deck for us today. So we're going to have quite a few conversations and celebrate all of the success that you guys have had the first half of this year. So let's dive in. Just a warning, if you are doing any telephone prospecting, please make sure you're up to date on the Telephone Consumer Protection Act and you are complying with all of the regulations. There's more information in our office policy manual, and you can find this online as well. All right. Hey, Patrick, right on time. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. We've got multiple events happening simultaneously here, but you are being streamed and recorded for those who don't want to miss your update. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had you on. What's going on in the mortgage world?
So lots of changes to rules. Things are loosening up. So if you remember when COVID hit, lenders were pulling out, changing the rules, making it harder to qualify. Now they're starting to make it easier to qualify. They're loosening things again. So a couple of the big ones, we just dropped our minimum credit score from 600 to 540. And that's on FHA, VA, USDA. So from 600 to 540. The question I get when I tell people that is, are we getting ourselves in trouble? Are we going back to, the crash of 2008? So I will tell you no. So the caveat to that is if you're under 580 credit score, you need 10% down. So they're making the clients put a little skin in the game on that. Other updates, a lot of people have already heard FHA reduced how we calculate student loans to make it easier to qualify if you have student loans. So in the past, if you had a student loan, no matter what your payment was, we had to calculate your debt to income ratio based on 1% of the balance. So if you had a $50,000 student loan, $500 monthly payment that we had to hit you with, even if it was deferred, even if you're on an income-based repayment plan, that's what we had to do. So they dropped it to 0.5%. So instead of $500 in that scenario, now it's $250. $250 is about $50,000 in price. So if you have basically FHA, VA buyers in the past who couldn't qualify due to credit or couldn't get to the price point they wanted, it's important to call them and let them know of some of these changes because it may help them qualify. Last thing I have is jumbo is loosening up. So complete opposite end of the spectrum. Jumbo's loosening up, 10% down on a jumbo, no PMI, underwritten in-house. And if you've had jumbo clients in the past, you may have heard them say, gosh, they're just grilling me for everything. Like every document, every business, everything. That's going to loosen up. So when you do a normal loan, by the way, jumbo in the areas you guys work is anything over 596 loan amount, not price, loan amount. So anything under 596 was regulated by the government, and the government's actually in this scenario pretty easy on people. We run their application through a computer system, computer system says yes or no, and what documents they need. So it's pretty easy to do a normal loan under 596. Jumbo, they grilled them for everything. Jumbo has changed. Now we can run them through that same system, so we don't need to grill them for as much documentation. In summary, it's going to be much easier to get a jumbo loan now. You're not going to need to go back 2 years all the time on self-employment. You're not going to provide blood samples or DNA tests. It's going to be a lot easier on jumbo. And like I said, we just came out with one that we service 10% down, no PMI. So those are some good changes. We may see more coming up, loosening of some of the guidelines that were put into place when COVID hit. That's what I got.
That's awesome. And that's great news with the jumbo piece, especially in our market right now with our price point, because there's this, there's a pretty popular price band in that like kind of, $650 to $750 range. That's been a real tough spot for buyers because you have to go conventional with a whole bunch down, or you have to give them your firstborn for a jumbo. And so being able to kind of split the difference inside of that might help a lot of people in that price point.
And jumbo was 20% down absolute minimum previously.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you. Any questions for Patrick before we let him off the hook today? You guys are too easy on them. You guys are way too easy. What are we seeing rates doing right now, Patrick?
They're stable for now. Another inflation report came out yesterday. Inflation's bad for rates. So rates did tick up a little bit yesterday. This low rate environment is temporary. That's about all I can say. We don't know when, but they're going to pop up. Government's pumping a bunch of money to keep rates low. They're investing billions per month into mortgages to keep rates low. And so if they weren't doing that right now, rates would be 0.5% to 1% higher. So 0.5% in rate is about a 5% increase in monthly payment. 1% increase in rate is about a 1% increase in monthly payment. So if clients thought it was hard to get under contract now with these prices, wait till rates go up. You may drop your buying power 40, 50 grand. So if you have someone who's waiting, I personally think that's a bad idea. And if they need us to run like a cost of waiting analysis for them, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah. And, another piece that I'm hearing right now a lot is the whole sell before I buy piece. And do I have to, do I need to? And I know, Patrick, you guys will, you'll do that. You'll do a recast, right?
Yep. So typically in those situations, if they have like cash or something like that and can cover the down payment without selling, great. Once they sell, they can pay down our mortgage balance and we'll recalculate their monthly payment for them based on the new balance. That's called a recast. It's free, doesn't cost them anything, as opposed to a refinance that does cost, upwards of $3,000. So that's a recast. If they don't have the money, then we can hook them up with a home equity line of credit or a bridge loan, and they can use that for the down payment while they still retain their other house, make a non-contingent offer. When their house does sell, home equity line of credit gets paid off, and then anything they have above and beyond the payoff amounts, they can use for the recast if they want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So a lot of solutions there. What are you guys hearing? I just want to open it up to the agents. What are you hearing that a lending solution would be helpful for, or that you're not sure if that lending solution exists?
Can you rephrase the question?
Well, okay.
Oh, so you're asking the agents? Okay.
Yeah, I'm asking the agents. So like, if I'm on like the lower end of the market, right, and I'm working with first-time home buyers and things like that, we still have grant programs in place. You still work with grant programs to help people with down payment assistance and those kind of pieces too, right?
Yep. I mean, right now we probably have 8 down payment assistance, first-time home buyers under contract. So what we're doing with that, and that we do that a lot with appraisal gap. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm going to do 3% down or 5% down, we'll show them that option and say, hey, here's what it looks like with 3 or 5% down. But we'll also show them a down payment assistance option, because the down payment assistance may allow them to cover an appraisal gap, or be more aggressive on their offer. So some of the down payment assistance programs are actually really, really good right now. There's some where we can give them up to 6% down payment assistance, which basically means everything's covered. Down payment, closing costs, maybe they have a few $100, $1,000 due at closing. They usually get a refund of their earnest money, but that way that 3 to 5% that they've been saving, they can throw in as an appraisal gap. Now, if the appraisal comes in at value, they don't necessarily need to do the down payment assistance. They can do a normal loan, but at least we know we have that down payment assistance program as a backup plan to cover the appraisal gap. And then the other thing on it is, with that down payment assistance, the one we use, the assistance is given to you as a loan. You do have to pay it back with most assistance programs. This one, it's actually forgiven after 3 years. So basically it works like a grant after 3 years. In fact, each month the balance is dropping automatically. No interest, no payments. It just keeps dropping. And after 3 years, it disappears. So that's a really good one. So we show people both. But if you think you're going to have a first-time home buyer who needs to cover an appraisal gap, or they've been losing because they don't have an appraisal gap, that's a good one for us to take a look at, so we can make sure we can make them more competitive and throw in that appraisal gap. And sorry, last thing on this, we can do it without income limits. So the rate, most down payment assistance, you can't make too much money to qualify for these programs. This one doesn't have an income limit. The rate's definitely higher, but it can get them into the home. If rates stay low, they could potentially refinance later.
That's awesome. Hey, Michael, you looked like you had a question too.
Well, I have a question for Crystal. She's got some I-10 buyers. Can you do 3%, 5% down on some I-10 buyers?
Cannot. I only know portfolio lenders like First Bank and that kind of stuff do the I-10. And they have big down payment requirements. So, yep, limited on that.
Awesome.
Well, if you guys have any other questions, or what I was saying was like a foreign language and technical and all that stuff, feel free to call me. I'd be happy to have a chat with you and just kind of coach you on some of that stuff and how to talk to your buyers about some of those options. So we are seeing a lot of success getting people under contract. We have been in this competitive market. Seems like there's a few more opportunities now with people on vacation and traveling and that kind of stuff, a little less activity out there, but it's still competitive. We'll run up to the 14 offer situation frequently. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Patrick. We so appreciate you and your partnership. Also, keep an eye out for invitations from Patrick for different training events and social events, especially as we get back to more and more in-person activities and kids get back to school and all of those things. We have a handful of opportunities coming up to get actual real life face-to-face. So keep an eye out for those. The invites, the evites, the Facebook events, all of those pieces.
Yeah, I'm definitely back to hugging. So if anyone needs a hug, I'm in the office today. Just come on by. Except Michael Lee. I don't want a hug from no Michael Lee hugs. Everyone else, fair game.
And you wonder why I don't send you buyer deals. I mean.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay.
All right, I'm coming over there right now to give you one.
Hey, let's dive into our mission moment really quick. Just a recap. It's been a little while since we've had this conversation, but who are we? We're gonna dive into our MVVBP, our mission, visions, values, beliefs, and perspectives. So it's our mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And we do that by wanting to be the real estate company of choice for our agents and their customers. That's our vision as a company. That's how KW sees themselves partnering with you, right? For all of us in this organization, it's all about priorities, right? Putting business where it belongs, and that means putting our spirituality and our family first. So God, family, and then business. Our why, 4C2Ts. That's how you would express this as an acronym. Why, 4C2Ts. This is our belief system. These are the rules by which we choose to do business, right? We believe that it's a win-win or there's no deal. We have the integrity to do the right thing, right? Our customers always come first, and we have a commitment in all things. Communication, we seek first to understand, right? You'll hear Gary Keller often say that this is a staying out of judgment, right? A seeking first to understand. Creativity, putting ideas before results. This is where we find ourselves as a collaborative community, right? Where we're willing to put to share our creativity with others. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. And trust starts with honesty. We have equity and opportunities for all in our organizations, and success results through people. Oftentimes with that last piece, the results through people, it almost sounds like it could be a little abrasive, right? And maybe even a little backwards, like I'm going to use you to get what you want. And the reality is that this is fulfilling my goals by helping others fulfill theirs. Right? In your business, this is fulfilling your goals of your financial goals, your business goals through helping families achieve their desires in home ownership, right? Is it making the move, making a purchase, investment properties, right? What are they building and what goals are you helping them fulfill? That in turn help you meet your goals, right? So that's results through people. As you grow and you're building your organizations with administrative staff, or you're part of a team, or you're growing a team, right? It's all about helping others succeed in that organization around you, right? So that's results through people. Our perspective. How do we see ourselves? Well, we're a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. We think like a top producer, act like a trainer consultant, and focus all our activities on service, productivity, and profitability for our agents. So that's who we are. And that's our mission moment. And today, the numbers are in. If Brittany was here, she got me a buzzer sound. She's not in the room with me. The numbers are in, and we've had a phenomenal year so far, and we want to celebrate some of the accomplishments and some of our agents. So congratulations to Miss Gwen Ham, who was our script champion in the second quarter. We'll be coming back with another script off competition. For those of you who caught this, it was so much fun, and it was really a great way for us to practice like we play, and get comfortable overcoming objections with our peers, so that we're strengthening our skills as we go out in the world. So congratulations, Gwen, who's actually going to be in Austin at Mega Camp in person, and she's got a VIP experience to go along with that this year. So super exciting. We're going to talk a little bit more about Mega Camp in a minute as well. Happy birthday, July babies, to Kathy Bowles and Jason Bell, to Jonathan Price, Ken Harper, Amanda Fultz, Mary Taramina, and Lynette Benton. Happy birthday, you guys. Happy birthday, Lynette. I haven't seen you in a while. I don't see your face, but I see that you're here. Happy birthday, lady, and happy birthday, Mary. I see you on the screen as well. And happy anniversary for Rebecca King, Heather Truish, Matt and Lindsay Talafuse, Kelly Spencer, Rich and Janet Johnson, and Pam Camargo. Happy anniversary, you guys. Okay, congratulations on capping in the month of June. Mr. Harrison Baker, congratulations. We're going to take a look at the leaderboards as well, and you're definitely high amongst those. So congratulations on capping in June. Also, Mr. Jared Lombardi and Nicole Westerveld. Congratulations on capping again for all of you, and congratulations to Megan Prey on capping for her first time. She's less than a year in the business. So congratulations, Megan, on reaching your cap. We're so excited for you guys to be earning 100% commissions. I'll bet you're excited too. Hi, Heather, look at that. There's a big picture of you. Welcome to the team, Heather. Congratulations on getting your real estate license and joining us here at our office. Welcome back to our friend Shirley Pettit, who has rejoined our office and is partnering with Miss Cheryl Sartain in her business as she moves forward. So welcome back, Shirley. We're so honored to have you as part of our team. Also joining us is Daria Vigil. Welcome, Daria. She joins us with 2 years of real estate experience coming from Crocker Realty. So welcome to the team, Daria, and welcome Miss Jamie Smith, who's just also graduated from real estate school and is joining us for Ignite, which just launched yesterday with our first class for the month. So if you're looking to refresh any of your foundations and systems and just want a good collaborative group or a dose of accountability, I encourage you to join our Ignite group, which is the first hybrid class we've got back in the Market Center. So there's an in-person component to this, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to noon in the Market Center, or on Zoom, or on demand as we're recording the pieces as well. Congratulations, Laura, on your first closed buyer. Congratulations on that first closing. And congratulations all to our top 5 profit share earners for the month of June. Ms. Cheryl Sartain, Donna Evins, JC Ortega, who's a new agent partner of ours, Ryan Davis, and Kelly Spencer. So congratulations, you guys, on being top profit share earners in the month of June and taking advantage of your unfair share through the gift of profit share. Remember that profit share is the way that Keller Williams reinvests in the marketing of our business. Because we grow by word of mouth, this is the way that we encourage that growth and say thank you for that piece. And a big shout out to Heather, who just reached out last night with a friend coming into career night this Thursday. So if you have anybody in your world who's interested in learning more about getting started in real estate, definitely encourage them to join us the 3rd Thursday of every month, right here in the office at 6 o'clock, so they can learn more about how to get started on their journey as well. June was a big month, and you guys went and took a lot of listings. It was a phenomenal month, nearly record breaking on the listing front for us. But congratulations to the top 5 in listings taken, the Ben Kinney team, Ryan and Company, the Geyer Group, Miss Debbie Dillman, and Eric Denning. Congratulations, you guys, on topping the leaderboards on listings taken in the month of June. Contracts written in the month of June, also a very, very big month. Congratulations to the Success Group, Ryan and Company, Team Colorado Vistas, the Ben Kinney team, and the Distinct Group. Let's take a look at top 5 in sold volume. So Ryan and Company in the Success Group topping out the top 5. And then Tom Hennessy, Harrison Baker, and the Distinct Group completing that. I love to see that we've got some individual agents in here really competing with our teams, keeping each other on your toes. This race to the top this year is going to be really, really exciting as we round out to the back half of the year. Here's the numbers year to date. You guys, it's very, very impressive. Congratulations to our top teams, Ryan and Company and Distinct Group, and the Geyer Group. All 3 of you are about $1 million in production away from one another. So it's a really close race year to date. On the top there, the Success Group and Team Colorado Vistas rounding that out. Followed with Harrison Baker and Gwen Ham. The Ben Kinney team climbing up as some of the newer agents on the BK team are starting to really ramp up their production. So I suspect they're going to be vying for one of the top spots here towards the end of the year. Tom Hennessy and Irene Schick, congratulations, you guys. I know for several of you, this is an absolute record-setting year. And even for those of you who are not yet on this top 10 leaderboard, you are grinding through this interesting and highly skilled market. So let us be your partners in that. How can we support you? But more than that, I celebrate and congratulate all of you guys for what you're doing on the leaderboard or not. You've got big years in front of you, and I'm so excited for what you're bringing into your businesses and to your family. So congratulations to all of you. I need sound effects so badly. We're going to make it happen one of these days. It's going to go on my priority list, and I'm going to have a little box here and I can push the applause button and all of those things. Here's the reality. It doesn't matter much longer, because in August we're going back to in-person team meetings. You're going to have an opportunity to do this hybrid, but we're going to get face-to-face, people. So check that out come mid-August for face-to-face team meetings. And if you are looking for a little face-to-face, join us for Ignite. As I mentioned, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in person in the Market Center and live via Zoom. Grab that registration link if you need it. It's also on the training calendar, and you've probably gotten an email or a text message or 2 about it. So click the link and get yourself registered for Ignite. Also, incredibly exciting. We have Castle Pines, Keller Williams office grand opening this week. You guys have all been invited. I trust you've gotten the invitation to join the grand opening celebration this Friday from 4 to 7, just down off of Castle Pines Parkway. Join JC Ortega and the Metro 5280 home team. So JC has opened an office specifically for his 5280 home team out of Castle Pines, and he's opening that office, extending it for any agent who would like to work from there as well. So if you're in the neighborhood and you need to pop by, know that we've got a KW office that you can work from in Castle Pines. If for whatever reason that sounds like a better fit for where you are and you're doing business, he does have space available for rent as well. JC's has several years in the real estate business and runs a fairly large real estate team as well. He comes with a lot of great kind of influence and information, and he is excited to get to know all of you guys through some training opportunities. So starting next month as well, he's going to be teaching some classes. Generally speaking, they're going to be about prospecting, lead generation, and getting more listings. So he'll be inviting us all down to the Castle Pines office for more of those events. This Friday, however, you can join in food trucks and some great fun at the grand opening event, and check out the new digs in Castle Pines. So keep an eye out for that. If you don't have the invitation, let us know. Otherwise, make sure that you have that on your list. Obviously, that is the day after this week's career night. So this Thursday is the third Thursday of the month. Feel free to invite anyone who's interested in getting into real estate to join us here in person in the office to learn more about that. And we've got some exclusive discounts for real estate school. So you can help your people not only get into the industry, but save a little money along the way. So we want to be your partner in helping to grow your profit share and your unfair share. And something that we've realized is that most real estate agents get into real estate, you'll love this, because they know a great real estate agent, right? You've seen what they've done. You've kind of from the outside looking in, got to see the industry, and you're excited to learn more about it. So it's not uncommon that people will talk to their favorite real estate agent about getting into real estate. And I don't expect you to have all of the answers about what comes next or what to do or how to get there. Let us kind of handle that and share with your people how they can get started with a career in real estate. So you've got some emails on that as well. There's some great resources in there. Your guests can register via Eventbrite, which is in the emails that went out, and on the training calendar, or they can simply show up. We're going to be here whether anyone registers or not. So 6 o'clock on Thursday is the third Thursday of the month. So that is coming tomorrow night. Dun, 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 dun. I'm very excited for this, and I believe we have our first drawing to do today. So I'm going to prepare for that really quick as we're heading through. Let me grab this. But congratulations to everyone who's month to date taken a listing. We literally just got confirmation that I have a prize available to draw for. So I'm going to draw, and we are going to have our first our first 103 and Q3 listing contest winner. This prize is, let me pull up my notes. Oh, I don't have them. They're in the other room. This is a spirit prize pack. So it is a gift basket with some libations and other goodies. So I believe it's valued at about $150. Ooh. For this piece. Bailey, I'm going to draw really quick. Sorry, I should have been much more prepared. Look at the Geyer Group with 3 listings going on there. Tom Hennessy with 2. That's awesome. All right, I've got everybody in. Got everybody in the bin by number. Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna win that prize pack? It's number 1, Mary.
Yay, thank you.
Mary, we'll get that prize pack for you. Bailey's gonna have all of the details with that.
Perfect.
Is that correct, Bailey? Was I right on track with what that was?
Yes, absolutely.
Here I am thinking I have to wing it, but Bailey's here and she knows all of the details.
Yes, so we are narrowing down our options between some cool gift baskets that we've got ideas about. Like Anna was saying, some goodies will be inside of there. So Mary, I will be sure to get with you and see what we can do for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yay.
Congratulations, Mary. Good job.
Absolutely. Congratulations, you guys. The more listings you take, the more entries you'll receive. At the end of the third quarter, we're going to be drawing for some real cash prizes, but we will have some regular drawings in between here and there for some goodies like gift baskets, event tickets, and all kinds of other things in between. So congratulations, Mary. And coming up, it is one of my favorite events of the year, and this is Mega Camp. Yay! So Mega Camp is a huge training and networking event. There are two ways to participate this year. We will be hosting some events at the Market Center to participate virtually as the event is being held in Austin, Texas, with a small in-person audience. That in-person audience has been invited because of certain production metrics that they meet. And as we get closer to the event, if all of those invites do not yield a sellout, they'll release some more in-person tickets. If anyone here would like to attend in person and did not get that invitation. However, you'll still get the opportunity to participate on demand, remotely through the portal, or in the Market Center through small group events that we'll be hosting in person. So that's the week of the 23rd. So it's like the 23rd, 24th, 25th of August. So mark your calendars for that. It is to participate remotely, you're looking at just $119 for the 3-day ticket. Tons of training, education, resources, masterminding with top agents, lots of networking opportunities. A really, really incredible virtual event. And then we're looking forward to family reunion in Orlando, where they'll be opening up a lot more in-person tickets. So we're really excited for that coming in February. Oh, up. Sorry, there we go. So you can register at megacamp.kw.com to hop in on the registration for those events as well. Let's see, you can also catch on KW Connect the Clash of the Closers, which is the next script off leading up to Mega Camp. There is also a digital national mastermind that's happening on July 21st, spring masterminds through KW. So if you're looking to have more collaboration with your peers from around the country or those who are just the next level up, I encourage you to register for masterminds at masterminds.kw.com to take advantage of that opportunity. Miss Donna, what do you have for us today?
Well, I would like to remind everybody that on August 11th, if you want and need CE credits, that I am teaching a contracts class from 1 to 5 at Smedra. And if you belong to Smedra, that will be free. And my next issue is, if you are dealing with Zillow and have them as a listing agent, My understanding is they do not use the Colorado State approved forms. However, having said that, if you, your buyer is going to buy that, then those forms need to be reviewed through with an attorney. I have been in communication with Marsha Waters about this issue because it's come up a couple of times. So if you want to know, instructions must come from the seller that they are not going to use Colorado State approved forms. And I would be inclined to ask them whose idea was it not to use Colorado State approved forms. And you're probably going to get pushback, but nevertheless, I'd ask the question. But if you want more or how Marsha answered that, just contact me. And again, I need to remind you a couple of things. As seasoned agents, many of you are not using the right buyer advisory that Damien has. He changed it. It includes a lot more stuff in it. And that's the one you have to use to get approved. So be sure you have the right buyer advisory and seller advisory. Both of them are Damien's. We don't use the state's forms. And also, if you have any questions on, we've been having some issues with other agents not writing contracts properly. And it has been somewhat of an issue in the sense that our agents are having to spend a great deal of time having the other agent rewrite them, or they have to rewrite it. So if you think those people you're doing business with could use a contracts class, have them come into mine on August 11th, because we have had some real buttes lately. So that's it for today.
Awesome. Easy peasy. Doesn't sound like we're in too much trouble, Donna.
You know, the last couple of weeks have been challenging because they're contract issues more than anything else. Not too much of anything else. So we're good for the moment. I have dodged some bullets, but that's it.
I love it. Well, you guys, here we go. We are at the end of our regularly scheduled content, but as we've been doing the past few weeks, I've got a phenomenal lifeline that I want to share with you guys with Gary Keller. He's talking about the MRAA. Aiming high with the MRAA is the session this week. So it's just over 15 minutes long. So it's going to take us out just through the rest of the team meeting. You're welcome to stick around and watch this. You can find more of these on KW Connect. If you check out Life, LYFE on KW Connect, I highly encourage you to dive into this series because it really is phenomenal. But I'm going to let Gary Keller and his group take it away for the rest of the team meeting. We'll see you guys all soon, tomorrow for Ignite or for Career Night, and then Friday for the grand opening. I'll be there Friday afternoon too. I'll be looking for you guys in Castle Pines. See you soon.
All right, you guys, thanks for joining us for another edition of Lifeline. I got my partners in crime here, Monica, Jason, and Jay. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Hey.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we made the decision as a team to take for as many sessions as it takes for us to talk about MREA. And we thought we would actually back up. I know we've done some lifelines in the past around the myth understandings and some other things, but this is a little deeper dive. So what we thought we would do is go back to the very beginning and actually start at the preface and just kind of talk our way through this. So this session is going to be on the preface. So let's dive in. So the book starts with actually a story that John and I had read about hunting for wolves. And here's the point of that story. The point of that story is aim high, aim high, aim high. And one of the reasons is because your best outcomes in life come when you aim high. Your worst outcomes or your least successful outcomes are come when you aim average or when you aim low. So and we start the book off, this basically the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Research Project. We start this project off with this fundamental idea of setting your mind around thinking big. Guys, you want to chime in on that?
Well, just before someone who's going to say something smarter than me chimes in, I didn't even get that far into the story. So my big aha, and I probably missed it, was it starts with several years ago, my son John and I were driving and listening to a book on tape. I highlighted that sentence. Gary, do you know how many times in the car I've wasted the time with my little boy? I didn't even think about that. We're listening to music and he's in the back seat dancing and you're listening to books on tape. I have not been purposeful about that time at all.
Well, let me say that I highly recommend dancing in the car to music. So let's don't underrate that experience. But yeah, there's no question that, as a dad, we only have so much or so long to have an impact on our children. And so I definitely multitask, meaning that if I could get a good book and pop a short story or anything like that, absolutely. Going to the beach was always the opportunity to listen to a full-length book going down and a full-length book coming back.
It's so good.
That's so great. So Gary, one of the things when, I've read this a zillion times and every time I read it, I read it differently, if that makes sense. I'm in a different place. And I remember there was a time that was extremely pivotal to me, even though I'd been in real estate for 20 plus years. I was in the top 100 group of yours selling real estate. And you said, write down what you're going to do. And I wrote down 200 solds, which meant, and that was about 100 million. In volume. And then you said, no, now cross through it, double it, cross through that, double that, cross through that, double that. And that ended up at 1,600 and you go, now do that. And that was I always thought I thought big, but I never thought that big. And then I thought, what would it take to do that? And I had the systems in place. I just needed to duplicate them and scale them.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest challenge that we have is we inadvertently almost always end up with the wrong peer group. In other words, the people that we're competing with are low compared to our potential. And we don't think and the reason that happens is because we think sequential. So we simply go and hang out with or read books that are literally, that are attracted to us because they're more or less sequential. And we end up being put in a room at school or a room in business with people that are at our current level of thinking. And because of that, you end up getting this group think that you don't even realize is programming you around the way you should be thinking.
But don't you agree we always underestimate our capabilities?
Oh, all of us, myself included, right? I used to brag about answering the phone early in the days of Keller Williams Realty National. And then one day someone pointed out, well, why didn't you say international? And I went,
there you go.
Well, of course, because I wasn't thinking big enough. I thought national was really big. Right now, I think global. I think universal, right? Keller Williams Universal,
There's this thing called the planning fallacy that, right, when we set out to do something, we always imagine we can do more and accomplish it faster than actual reality shows up. And so when I tell the story about aim high, I usually tell a story on myself. We were launching the one thing. We had a goal of selling 40,000 copies in a window of time. And it was more than, at that point in my career, I'd ever imagined selling. So I spent 6 months to present to you. Me and Ellen walked in. We presented you a plan to sell 40,000 copies. And you look back and it's like, I need to see a plan for 100,000. And my mind was blown. I'd already thought but what the beauty of that is when we designed a plan that we thought might sell 100,000, a lot of it was fiction. Yeah. How many did we actually sell? 44. So by more than doubling our aim, we just barely squeaked above the target that we really want. So when you're saying that double it, you're telling Monica to double it, you've got a habit of that, because if that's what we really want, 40 or whatever, right? You've really got to aim high just to get what you want, much less be left to settle with something else.
And the other thing that happens in coaching, when we work with a client and we say, okay, double that, what would it take? It expands their mindset, but also how they behave each day starts to change. You're not behaving like you're going to do 50 deals. You're behaving like you do 100 deals. And on that pathway, maybe you don't get to 100 that year, but you get to 65, but your goal was 50. And you're okay, that's good, originally.
Right. Well, here's what it says in the book on page 23. It says, small goals tend to place limits on our potential, and big goals have a tendency to pull us right through the small goals on the way to attaining the big ones. So that's the point, right? I mean, that's absolutely the point. And then we go on to say that the formula is straightforward. Think big, act bold, and you'll live a larger life. So this is, if you think about the opportunity of life is trying to maximize our potential. The only way that I know of, and I believe it's a universal truth, that we can maximize our potential is to overshoot our goals, is to whatever we think our goal is, then double or triple, quadruple that. Because what matters about goal setting isn't the goal, it's the plan.
Yeah.
Right? It's the plan. What matters is what actions you take. And if you think sequentially, right? Think about what's happening right now in the market. I know this kind of dates this conversation, but I want you to think about what's happening right now. And that is, we are in the most incredible real estate market in recorded history. And a lot of people are having their best years ever. And they're so proud of themselves, right? And I look up and I go, you should be doubling that. Why are you only doing that? And right in my mind, I don't say that to them, but in my mind, I'm going, man, I don't know why you're celebrating. They're going, I've never made more money. In their mind, they'd be having a conversation with you going, well, I've never made more money than this ever before. And I'm going, and what's your point about that? Right? Because the problem is that because they're riding the tide, when that tide goes down, all of a sudden they won't be doing as much and they'll wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's because they weren't actually following a plan, right, to try to do more. They just did more because the market gave them more.
And you're speaking from experience. You've watched this cycle happen and you've watched that realization
over and over. And I'll tell you again, and I say this with all respect, when I look around the room of the people I work with, the one constant is me. I can take you back 20 years ago and it was a completely different room. And it's not because they went out of business with us, it's because they went out of business. Okay. And these were the best in the top. And they either burn out or they
plateau. I mean, to get in your top group was more than the top person was when we first started working together.
Yeah.
Right. It's every year the bar gets raised and people, if they're not willing to grow on the journey. One of the parts I love about this chapter, we talk about the Aladdin factor, and the size of our life is determined by the size of our questions. And one of the videos that we as a leadership team watched was a Google executive, Carl Liebert, our CEO, shared it with us, talking about going 10x versus a 10%, an incremental improvement. And one of my biggest ahas is that sometimes 10xing, right, a problem, going not just double, but 10x is easier than a 10% incremental change, because it forces you to break out of this box of your thinking. And the example I remember, and I might be messing this up, but a digital watch has about 10% of the cost of a traditionally crafted watch, and it's about 10 times more effective. Like, you can have a digital Casio, it is 10 times more accurate than the Rolex, and it costs a fraction to build and maintain. So sometimes asking a bigger question just doesn't get you farther. it actually opens up like a whole new world of time and gives it back to you. Like, I don't know, that is one of the big things that I've discovered working with you, Gary, is that bigger questions lead to all kinds of breakthroughs.
Yeah, I mean, yes. And by the way, success leaves clues. So if you take this idea and then you go and try to either prove it correct or incorrect, if you just go on that journey, you'll find the stories, Jay, that you just talked about, that over time, history has recorded the thoughts and the experiences of men and women before us, and they will all tell you, think big and then think bigger. It's the only way right? You can think about having a happy marriage, and then you can think about having a happier marriage, right? You can think about having a great kid, and then you can think about having a greater kid and a greater kid, right? And what happens is we think incremental, and that doesn't get you there. That's the challenge, which is why you just think really big. Well, the next part, the last part of this section is the big secret, right? Now, here's the big secret, and that is success is simple. Success is simple, right? The world is complex. There's no question about that. It is so complex, it's actually hard to describe, right? You have to go get a genius and they have to write a big, thick book to tell you about the cosmos and all that, to try to even remotely explain all of this, right? And we're all expected to read that and then make sense of it and then live our lives accordingly. Ha, ha, ha. It's not going to happen, right? It's extremely complex, but you can't live in complexity. You can't. You cannot implement a complex plan. Complexity is simply doing simple over and over and over again. And then you look up. So again, people would say, man, I want to go reinvent a Keller Williams. And you go, well, that's really complex. It's really complex when you're a global business operating here, right? There's over 40 different entities that make this organization up doing this and this and this and this. And you go, really? So when you run it tomorrow, how do you run it? And you go, you narrow it down to the simple. You cannot, do not hand me a plan, and do not let me hand you a plan that is complex.
Yeah.
Because you'll get lost in it. Right? Simplicity allows you to focus, and it also allows you to have no excuses, because there's only 3 things that you're doing, or 2 things, or 1 thing, right? Yeah. Success is less complicated than people think.
But naturally, everything wants to become more complex. And from what I'm finding, if you don't wake up every day and be a fanatic about making it simple, it takes but 3 days. You come back to a project 3 days later, if someone's else been mucking in it, and it is the most complex thing you'd ever want to see. You have to wake up every day and make it easier.
Yeah,
people confuse. I was just going to say, I think a lot of people confuse complicated and simple with easy and hard, and they're different accesses, right? Something can be very simple and still be difficult to do, right? So don't make something that's already difficult complicated too, because that is the ultimate recipe for failure.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The one thing. Yeah, the one thing to really grasp, I think, though, for me, is that when you have a complex issue, what's the simplest answer versus here's all the different things that we've got to do and write these lists out and do all these different checklists and everything. Okay, what's the one thing that makes the biggest difference?
Yeah, I find every day, if I just do what matters most, getting everything done is not as important, right? Because you used to stress out, right? You got this laundry list of all the things that you want to do or can do or should do or whatever. And we believe that the one who wins is the one that checks off the most things, but that's not true. The people who have the biggest lives check off the priority that mattered most.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if you get really good at that, you end up delegating the other 20 things to someone else.
Well, and that's how this section ends, right? It's a very simple choice. Practice real estate as a job, run your real estate practice as a business. There's only 2, pick them. And I really love the way that you ended that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you guys, that's the end of this session. We'll see you next time.
Well, that's the end of that for those of you still on, and for those who might be watching on Facebook. Hey, I missed something really important that I want to mention really quick. We've got our next client appreciation event coming up. Absolutely turnkey, ready for you to participate in. All you have to do is raise your hand. On July 30th, we've got a movie night, movie in the park, and so check out the Facebook page for more details. Also look at the newsletter, and you're getting some emails about some details. So make sure that's on your radar. Get your clients joining you for a movie in the park. And with that, we'll see you guys soon, hopefully at career night or at the open or the grand opening on Friday. If not then we'll see you next week. Have a great afternoon. Happy Wednesday, guys.